What's up, guys? I wanted to share a little bit about how I get my food prep going on the weekends and give you guys some really awesome tips to help you get started right away. You can make this a simple process or you can make it a complex process. I'll give you an idea. Mine kind of breaks up in half. It is a little bit complex and a little bit simple. But what I would like to do every week is make 2 or 3 meals that have a lot of flexibility and have the ability to carry over into multiple meals for the week, and they are combos. So when I say combos, I mean they're utilizing multiple macronutrient food groups at the same time. So for example, I'll make a zucchini lasagna, which covers my healthy fats, it covers my proteins, and it covers my vegetables at the same time. So it's a combo meal. And then I'll make like a shepherd's pie, which will cover my carbohydrates, my proteins, and my vegetables all at the same meal. So those are some of the things that I like to do to get a head start on my week. And those are great meals for us that carry over throughout the week. I also like to do a couple of really simple vegetables. So I will do a stir fry with frozen vegetables. You don't have to buy fresh vegetables and do all the cutting and all the hard work because the frozen vegetables is already done for you. And they are cut and flash frozen at their ripest. So they are going to be good for you. So let me show you kind of how I start with some of my prep. So if you look behind me, and I wish I could do the turnaround while I was recording. Maybe I'll see if I can pause it and start over. Nope, didn't work. If you look behind me, I get my stuff set up. So I have my cutting board set up. I've got my spices and my bowls out. I always use one bowl for all my scraps at the same time, sauces and stuff. And then my kitchen tools. I've got my mandolin and I've got my spiralizer out. And because I'm making the zucchini lasagna, I need my mandolin. In my sink, I have a white vinegar wash going on with all of my vegetables. So you'll see my eggplants. I'm going to be making eggplant pizzas today. I'll do some stuffed peppers. So I have some peppers here, jalapenos so that they can go in my guacamole. Avocados are over here on the counter right now. Potatoes for the shepherd's pie, and there's like sweet potatoes back over here with my grapes. We've got a ton of celery and grapes. Those are going to get washed separately. I'm just washing my vegetables for now. But once I get everything washed here, then I'm going to start doing my prep. And the easiest way for me to start prep is knowing that I'm going to have so many vegetables that I need to work with in order to get my combo meals done. So I'll start by cutting all of my peppers and onions and getting my zucchini prepped so that I can do that. And then I'll start the cooking process. So just wanted to give you guys a couple tips here on that, and I will give you a little bit more as we go throughout the day. Not throughout the day, it's only going to take me a couple hours, but a couple hours, $120 for food for the whole week for me, my husband, and my daughter. And that's like 5 meals a day per person. Well, not her, but 5 meals a day for me and Corey. All right, have a happy Sunday. All right, so this is my eggplant pizza. What I've done is I've taken just a standard eggplant, cut the top and the bottom off, wash it, and we're slicing them into thickness about 3/4 of an inch or so. I've got laid out on a cookie sheet, and I have just olive oil spray on the bottom of the cookie sheet. And then what I'm doing after that is Italian seasoning. So this is an oregano, parsley, and basil, kind of a blend, right? And I'm just covering pretty good amount because we're making eggplant pizzas. So this is going to have, you know, the pizza flavoring to it by adding the Italian seasoning. I'll do the Italian seasoning on all of them. And then after I do the Italian seasoning on all of them, I'm also going to do a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder. So those will, again, give it that Italian flavoring. And I'm gonna get this set up right here. So, let's see what I'm doing a little bit here. And then what I'm gonna do for these is bake them at 400 degrees. I literally just go across the hole. There's no science to it, but bake them at 400 degrees for about a half an hour. You want them to slightly brown because what you're trying to do is get them to crisp up a little bit. And by getting them to crisp up a little bit, you make them easier to handle. And then when you take them out of the oven, the next step after that is going to actually be saucing them and putting mozzarella cheese on them. So I use a homemade sauce, which is from the Fix8 cookbook that I use, and the sauce is considered 100% vegetable. There's no added sugars to it. There's some agave in it. But it's a sauce that I make ahead of time and have it on hand throughout the week for whatever I like to do. So I keep it in my jars ready to go. And when I pull them out of the oven, I'll just sauce them and put mozzarella cheese on them and throw them back in for another 10 minutes. So eggplant pizza is a very easy way to get in a vegetable. Next up is my zucchini lasagna. So I am slicing my zucchini. This is a 3mm slice, and these are the noodles for my lasagna. I am using a mandolin. Be super, super careful using a mandolin. They come with a guard for a reason. I will tell you, the first time I used it, I was holding my zucchini like this, and I sliced this side of my pinky right down the mandolin at the 3mm mark, and that hurt like a bitch. And I had been drinking wine and bled for like 2 hours. Corey's like, yeah, you probably should have gone to the hospital and gotten stitches. I didn't. Anyway, so zucchini lasagna. Making the slices, again, use the guard. Don't try to skin the end of it without using the guard. But they come out like a nice little slice like this. And I stack them and dry them because zucchini holds a lot of moisture. And when you're doing things like a zoodle or a zucchini lasagna like this, the extra moisture when you go to bake the dish has a tendency to kind of water the dish down. So I will press them between paper towels and throw them in a bag until I'm ready to use them. So these are actually ones that I cut earlier in the week, and they're nice and dried out. So that's gonna be the first ones that I use for my zucchini lasagna. So that's what's up next. Now I'm gonna do my peppers and onions cutting. That'll be fun. That's gonna take a while. Again, so I've just finished chopping all of my vegetables, and as I was doing the chopping, I pulled out my eggplant pizzas, put them back in, sauced them, and all that stuff. So I just separate all my vegetables in their own little containers on my counter, and I've started working on my shepherd's pie process. So that's carrots, celery, onions, and garlic already starting to cook in there. Normally, because if I were making just that, I would be adding the meat to it, but I'm going to pull those vegetables, put them in a separate bowl, and do my vegetables for my lasagna process because it's the same thing, and then pull those aside and then brown the meat and then divide the meat between the two so that it works out that way. So yeah, that's kind of how I go with some of these processes. I am following recipes, but I know a lot of them almost by heart, so working on it. So those will be done, at least assembled, pretty soon, and then I can get my workout in and we can go to our party, and then I'll bake